Bobabu versus Marco1968. And it's going to be French versus French on Tibet. You've seen this map before, so I hope you still remember the basic idea of this map. Food is a little bit scarce, not too much around. You really have to work on herding it. And then again, if you control the center plateau, you have of course another herd, and you also have map control because you control the path directly towards your opponent's town center. Hold on a second. Okay, had to fix that first. So, French mirror on Tibet. Bobabu versus Marco. I think Bobabu is favorite here. He is around Lieutenant Colonel or something. Bobabu, I think Marco is around Captain or so. French mirror, what can we see here? Both of them are starting with a market. That's pretty standard. Gonna get their hunting ducks in, of course, and age up at pretty much same time. Then, a few cows here. Sorry, a few cows here from Marco, and same, also 3 cows from Bobabu. Both of course have a hero and a native scout, so if they play it properly they both should get a similar amount of cows. Looks like though that Marco is getting the upper hand here. He finds himself with 3 more cows already. Meanwhile, treasures, let's see if there's something interesting. 80 coin there for later. 90 wood, that's actually the better one. And another just 50 wood over there, and 80 food. Yeah, basically I actually think in a mirror like this it's good to get control of the center of the map, because you can then press your opponent better while you also have an additional herd available. And yeah, well, actually I'm curious to see what both players are going to do. Let's just wait it out and see what they have planned. Is there any treasure contest so far? Not really. Bobabu finds himself 75 food. He already picked up 85 wood, by the way, so he's definitely ahead in the treasure count. On the other hand, there is 6 cows from Marco compared to the 2, 4, 5 from Bobabu. 6 looks like, so okay, that's going to be even as well. What I'm really looking out for here is if both players are gonna herd properly. What you see, for example, here is these villagers are way too far from the town center. Compared with Bobabu's herd, this is how you want it. The closer the villagers are, the faster new villagers can walk to the herd, and the faster they can gather resources, and thus the faster you can age up. You can see it already, by the way. Look at this, 800 already, while he was only at 600 or so. That means he's already gonna age up, and he's like 1/3 before he's even gonna click age up, which of course in turn allows you to get your units out faster, and especially if you rush, it kind of means that your opponent is not able to rush you anymore because you just age up much faster. Again, he's shooting his herds away, not really paying attention. It's very unfortunate there. It's actually one of the basic things, guys. If you are playing this game, keep an eye on your herding. It's really important. This is way too easy to get raided on later on. Meanwhile, both of them are still scouting around the map. Oh, 1 cow left to be found over there. Bobabu, of course, already aging up, sneaking in, okay, getting in the placer mine upgrade, and now he is herding. That's good. And now actually he's also aging up himself. But look at this, there's a 45% difference in age time. Meanwhile, this is his second herd. This is his third. Second here, third here. Here you also see already the difference between these 2 players. Bobabu already working on his second herd. Marco unfortunately not yet. He's reherding this one, that's good, but he should already be working on bringing in this one or that one. Okay, he's sending a villager, that's good. Meanwhile, 80 coins still left to be picked up by either one. and the 90 wood has been found by the scout of Bobabu, I believe, so maybe he's gonna go for it afterwards. Okay, he's going for a trading post. That means no rush from Bobabu yet, I think. And what is Marco looking to do? A lot of villagers on coin, both of them. Okay, he's gonna start with a stable, pretty standard, just one stable start, probably 700 wood after. Maybe adding a Rex into Hussar Musketeers, or just going for an age up and then play it out from there. Another cow there for Bobabu, and the fact that he has a trading post is of course going to benefit him in the long run. So if Marco is not going to grab himself a trading post or do damage early on, then he's probably going to lose basically because he has less shipments. It is a French mirror after all, so if you do exactly the same as your opponent, same villager count, same upgrades, same strategy, then at some point the 200 wood investment in the trading post is just going to pay off. However, we do see a difference here. There is a barracks for Marco, and 2 barracks in fact. The thing is though that 2 barracks in such a defensive position is usually not the preferred choice, because yes, it helps to defend these herds, which this one is still not herded by the way, unfortunately. This one he is working on. It does help to defend that, but it means that your distance to your opponent, the walking distance here, is quite a lot. Which means that it's quite easy for your opponent to just raid with hussars, and then for example even age up, especially with a trading post in the back of this. So otherwise, if he would have for example taken the center, he would have had more vision, another herd, etc. First, a raid is coming in. He's already scouting up front with his native scout in stealth mode. Very nice, so that he knows exactly where to go and where to get the villagers. Although he has to be careful, because anytime soon there's probably gonna be musketeers popping out. There we have it. However, he kills one. Oh, he managed to kill a villager even. He loses one hussar, but that's okay. Trading a hussar for a villager at this point in the game is worth it in my opinion. And he's also gonna find the villager in the back. He was actually a very nice job by Bobabu here. He was using his hero already to scout in the back to find out if there were any villagers over there, and he did, so he was able to take it out, and that's a 2 villager victory there. Another few hussars. This indicates to me that he's probably gonna age up, I was about to say, but he is shipping 700 wood after 4 villagers. I thought maybe he would go for 700 coin and just like 3 hussars on the left side, 3 hussars on the right side. Another villager is going down. And this is what I was talking about. 2 Rexes at home. You don't really need all the musketeers to defend. And this basically means that Bobabu is just toying around with Marco at this point. He can raid left and then he can raid right again, on the right side again. Really forcing Bobabu to keep his musketeers at home. Basically giving him... forcing Marco to keep his musketeers at home. Basically giving Bobabu free reign to do whatever he wants to do. He is still investing in units, so he's not aging up anytime soon. Maybe because of the 2 Rex musketeers he is scared of a possible musketeer push later on, but this is what I mean. Because the herding wasn't optimal early on, he now has to post musketeers to defend his villages. But if you have to post like 5 musketeers over there, or maybe even more, then you can't use them, for example, to defend your home base, which is now getting raided, or to push out. And that just gives Bobabu all the time in the world he needs. There we have 700 coins, so this was just a very safe build. 700 wood to get in the Rex in case Marco was going for any crazy stuff like maybe an all-in rush or 8 crossbowmen or whatever. Then he could just make a few musketeers and be ready to deal with it with town center minutemen and the hussars that he has. But now that Bobabu is really limited in, Marco is really limited in his resources, he just decides to ship 700 coin and then age up from there. Keeping him busy, look at this, keeping him busy on both sides. But Marco is just not able to mass a decent musketeer count because he's getting raided so much, and also because the herding wasn't optimal. He gets quite a few nice shots on there, and he keeps his musketeers here in a good position, so he will get another hussar there. A little bit of a grouping there from the hero and the hussars, of course, slowing down the hussars. Oh, he's looking for a small push. Oh, he's not aging at all. He's gonna use the 700 coin to invest in musketeer hussars. Actually, that is, in my opinion, not the best decision here, because your opponent already has 2 Rexes, meaning that if you only have Master's Musketeers, he should be fine against your Hussar Musketeer push. However, on the other hand, if you would age up with the 700 coin, you would be able to have attack advantage and then make skirmishers and dragoon from both of your army buildings, and of course, for example, 2 cannons, and play it out from there. So this is kind of a better thing for Marco at the moment. However, he still has a good Hussar count, Bobabu it is, so it's not like a complete walkover here for Marco. And Marco also shipped 3 Hussars, by the way. And he is now looking for a push. This hero should actually be used, I think, to either scout or to fight up front. Of course, Bobabu does have a trading post, so he still has access to, for example, 8 crossmen if he needs. He can also use his Minutemen as well, but he is shipping 600 wood, I think. He's going to use some villagers to fight. One villager goes down already, kind of equaling the villager count. However, you see Bobabu still up 4 villagers. That's a huge amount of damage he did early on with the raids. And now he's going to use some villagers to tank, while his musketeers and Minutemen and Hussars are doing the most damage there in the back. Quite a good surround here, and he's going to completely take down this army, it looks like. Quite good by Marco, by the way, with the reinforcements, using them as much as possible, but not just staying in one position so that all the musketeers can shoot. He's trying to shoot and run his way back, making sure that he won't get attacked by as many musketeers, while trying to do as much damage as possible. However, he realizes that it is a good game, there's just too much of an army advantage there for Bobabu, meaning that Bobabu takes game number 1. So, basically Bobabu, the trading post did help him only by a bit. You see that he basically got out 1 more shipment here. Oh wait, actually. Can't click back to this is same. Actually, I got the same amount of shipments. Oh yeah, but of course Bobabu got them all a little bit earlier. Look at this, for example, 1 minute. So he's probably already waiting his yes. He has already a shipment there. So he is just basically 1 shipment ahead, you can say, almost. And then he waited really nicely. The herding was a lot better for him, allowing him to get more units out, but also putting a lot of pressure on Marco to prevent him from making enough units. So then we go into the second game there, shortly. For some reason he is still in the game. It is a BO3, so he has to win 1 more before he's gonna advance. Or maybe he was checking the post game, he's out now, so no worries. So both of them have to change their civilization, because in a BO3, basically you can just see it like this. If you divide the BO number by 2 and round it up to the nearest number, then you get the number of civilizations that you have to play, different civilizations that you have to play before you can play the same civilization again. That all sounds harder than it is, but basically, for example, BO3 you divide it by 2, round it up to the nearest number, which is 2, which means that they both have to play 2 different civilizations before they can play the same civilization again. Likewise, in the BO9 you have to play 5 civilizations before you can play the same civilization again. Anyway, Bobabu is going to go for Germans, and Marco looks to be playing British.
Yes.
Okay, so there we go. German versus British on... Oh wait, it can't be the same map. There we go. Bengal is their second map, it looks like. Why do I keep getting this message? I already have the map. I don't get that. Every time. So, Bengal, it is based on Deccan. Actually, is it based on Deccan? I feel that Tibet is more based on Deccan. I'm not sure why there's a Deccan icon over there. Bengal is like vaguely Bayou or something. Anyway, I do like the map. It has no trading posts, which also of course allows for different gameplay. But it is basically a lot about controlling the center upper part of the map, and I will show you that in a second. There is a huge cliff on the top side, which basically cuts the map 1/3 to a half, like over here. So there you go, this cliff I was talking about. It basically cuts the map like almost in half. And if you see over here, you have a few hunts close, but not that many. 2 elephants, this one, and this one is decently herdable. But then you really have to go to the center of the map or more to the bottom sides. And of course that means you're also more vulnerable to raids and stuff like that. So basically, if you, for example, control this part of the map, you have complete vision because no one can walk. This is not like the big wall that you can climb or something, so you have to walk past here. So if you have, for example, a base here or a tower, you really have a complete line of sight there. And also you kind of block any path from your opponent towards, let's say, to the right here, because they always, if you control the center, they have to walk either way around like this or the other way around, so like this. So German versus British. The thing is that this map, of course, has no trading post, so that means that German, who always enjoys having a trading post, is going to be a little bit less strong. However, German is German, and it's always a good civilization to play. Especially, I feel, in... Well, never mind that. It's a good civilization to play, because British... it's not easy to deal with German for British. You really need to get your... BOs straight there, so to say. We see that Marco is doing a good job here at herding his stuff, so he definitely learned from that last game. Likewise, Bobabu already, but what I don't like here, small detail, herding with a settler wagon. You should herd with a villager. Settler wagons gather much faster, so all the time that you are spending walking towards this point and herding means that you are not gathering and you are losing resources effectively. Use a settler wagon to build and to gather, and use a villager to herd. Keep that in mind. So, this map doesn't have any big treasures, which is also something I like. They don't... Oh, actually there's 100 food. That's quite... Oh, actually there's 90 food. Okay, my bad. Anyway, there's some treasures here, some bigger treasures on the bottom sides of the map, it looks like. And it's of course interesting to see which of these players is going to take them. 80 coin, 90 wood and 100 food are all very valuable. Especially for British, 90 wood would be a nice add. Regarding what we can expect here, I think the German guy is just going to try for a semi-FF. Maybe we see some kind of crazy Expo Pike Rush, but knowing Bobabu, I think he's just going to make Ulans and raid and then semi-FF. Marco then has to be dealing with the raids properly, probably leaving a few like musketeers at home or something to make sure that he's not going to lose like 4 villages to a few Ulans. And he's probably going to look for some kind of musketeer, maybe mixed with hussar push. But before I'm just going to theorize everything, let's just wait and see what's going to happen. Bobabu finds the 80 coin, and Marco in the meantime is going the wrong way. I'm not sure if he knows the map, but it's no use scouting this part of the map. You should really go to the bottom sides where the treasures are. You already know where you start here on this map. If you start on the right side, you know your opponent is on the left side here in the same identical location and vice versa. And usually there's no good treasure here on the top. So if you play this map, don't go like this. He's also going to find 90 wood. Bobabu did this, so that's also a nice pick up there. And there you have him herding with the villager. And he's aging up already. Actually both are, and actually Marco is aging up a little bit faster than the German. Which also, by the way, has to do partly with the fact that he herded with the saddler wagon. If he would have herded with the villager, he would probably be at like 55 or 60 now or something. But anyway, just a small delay. So, let me see what's going to happen with the market upgrades. Marco does go for the gang saw, hunting dogs. Bobabu for the hunting dogs, and place of mines pretty standard. He's gonna find himself 40 coin if he grabs it. I think he should. No reason to not use it because he hasn't scouted anything yet, so he doesn't know where treasures are. So then in that case better use your crack shot, grab anything that you can and explore the map later on. Also, of course, it's useful for him to find out what Bobabu is doing, so it's better to, at this point, stay around this area and then find out if Bobabu is, for example, making a stable back at home, or if you can scout some proxy wrecks or something like that. You see that Bobabu is now returning, or actually moving towards Marco's base. Exactly that, to find out what Marco is doing and what he needs to do to counter it. I think he missed this, because it's a little bit in a funny position. You would expect it around here. And that's also sometimes the mind games, because your opponent would expect it here, you can, for example, just build it here to make sure he doesn't scout it immediately. Unfortunately, he's going to shoot it away instead of towards there. But anyway, Bobabu is going to find, I believe, this barrack should be barely in line of sight of his hero just a second ago. Otherwise, he's going to confirm that there's no base at home anyway. Meanwhile, at Bobabu's side, stable is up. 3 saddler wagons first, with of course 2 free Ulans. And there's just 1 Rex from Marco, so there's no rush pressure early. I do like that he is going for the steel traps. Both of them actually are going for steel traps. Quite common, but that's a good thing. 5 musketeers are out, but the problem is he's going to have to play catch up with the Ulans. Of course, Ulans are very fast, so he can move the musketeers towards the villagers. Hopefully he's not going to lose them. Yeah, he might lose 1. That's also the thing, if you see these Ulans moving there in your tower line of sight, oh, he saves them, that's good. If you see these Ulans moving in your tower line of sight, make sure that you move your villagers away immediately, because Ulans have such a high attack that they just kill villagers so fast. Basically these Ulans will go for a raid, however one is gonna die very fast and the other one will not do that much, I think. I'm very curious about this 1 Rex play. Maybe Marco is going for a big boom early and then try to go for a timing push. Let's say Musketeer Hussars, and then hopefully push the German when he's going to age up. However, knowing Bobabu, he might go for 700 coin afterwards, meaning that he's going to age up very fast, which means that the timing push might come in too late. We'll see. He's now going to lose 1 or 2 villagers. And he has to be very, very careful there. He's going to go for a second Rex there. That means that he's going to be vulnerable to, for example, 8 skirmisher shipments. If he's not going to add a stable, just to keep that in mind. He's going to lose no villager, and Minutemen are being called. Well, town center is still doing damage. He's trying to intercept this, it looks like. Although these musketeers should probably walk more like this direction. He fends off the Ulan raids for now, but it gives Bobabu so much time, and there, as expected, 700 coin. So he's going to go for a FF, and does need some wood later to get the houses, to get the population out, because he has no trading post also, so he can't really sneak in 700 wood, otherwise his third age shipment will be very late. Maybe he's going for a lot of gold and just buy houses, also an option. Looks like these are going to wait over there. The Minutemen are being used to go for a push. Likewise are the Musketeers. The good thing for Marco is that this is a very low hunt map if you don't hurt enough. You see that Bobabu was working on this, but he kind of misheard it. And you see he never brought in this hunt, which means that at some point he's going to run out of resources. He does have 500 food stacked, which is basically the equivalent of like 10 food for your Ulans. And you can call out Minutemen as well. Ulans are being brought back. But this is actually quite a good push from Marco. The problem is that when Bobabu is going to edge up, as he just did, you can ship soon 8 skirmishers. And 8 skirmishers with Minutemen is able to deal with this if you micro it properly. However, until that point, it's just going to be a lot of musketeers on his base. Ooh, he walks out the other way. Is Marco gonna realize this? And why is he actually going back? That's very surprising to me. I think he should keep up the pressure. He does have 100 wood, so he's not going to add the stable anytime soon, it looks like. Yeah, the shipment is on the way, so that means 8 skirmishers must be the choice of unit for Bobabu, I'm pretty sure. Meanwhile, this herd is not going to be hurted yet. I think he's scared of some Ulans waiting there. Oh, he's going to go around. But nice ball by Bobabu. That means that he was not able to sneak in here and surprise him with an attack. I'm really curious to see what he's up to, because if you wait so long, it just means that you give your opponent a lot of time, and as soon as there's 8 skirmishers in, that this army will just die. He needs hussars. Okay, he's adding a stable now. Okay. But Bobabu is just going to wall himself completely. And there you have the 8 skirmisher shipment and the musketeer attack. However, without hussars, it's really tough to push in there. So he's going to wait. I think it's wise for him to wait, because at this point the German is at his strongest. He has the Ulan still, he just shipped the 8 skirmishers. So what I would be doing is probably wait for 5 hussars, but that means that you would have to post your musketeers here to make sure that you not get raided by Ulans. As you see, hopefully he's going to get the villages out on time. Is he? Come on, respond, Marco. Oh no. He responds a little bit late, and those villagers are going to die. He might get 1 Ulan, but Bobabu responds in time, and yeah, 1 Ulan, but that's it. Ooh, these villagers wow, Marco, careful. No, 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 no! What are you doing? 1 more villager goes down for 1 Ulan, but I think that's actually quite okay for Bobabu at this point. So he's probably going to ship 7 skirmishers after, because he still has no racks. So basically, Marco doesn't know that Bobabu has no racks. So he could also wait, for example, for 10 hussars and then throw everything in, like all the musketeers, all the hussars at once. But actually, he should probably be pushing out soon, because you give the Germans so much time. You can even make some war wagons, which do actually decent versus a few musketeers that are left. He's going to respond on time here, not going to lose these villages, but then he forgets he has villages on the berries as well, and he's going to lose 1 villager and a second one. He's going to just herd close to Bobabu, kind of saying like, okay, you're probably going to hurt my base and not find out about your herds closer to you, not expected rather. So 100% there means the second shipment is going to come in shortly. For Bobabu, and then he's also gonna run out of coin at that point, which means actually, if you think about it, in a way, there's a small timing window for Bobabu. I think with his next shipment, the 7 skirmishers, he really has to push out. If he doesn't make something happen, then Marco still has control of the map, and that means that he also has control of the gold mine. That is really gonna be the gold mine Bobabu needs. Meanwhile, there's still this annoying Ulan raid going on, and also this mine is gonna run out soon, but he still has a mine available at the top, but this is quite far. I have to see, is he gonna respond in time? Let's see, there's 7 skirmishers soon, but there's a wall here, which means that he can just post behind the wall and wait it out there. He still of course had Minutemen available, and he's gonna raid there. 7 skirmishers, now this as well. Is Marco gonna realize this? I think he's too busy with micro here. Maybe he is not. Yes, 2 villages go down. That's the German thing here. Marco, keep an eye on the minimap. He's knowing now, so. And careful with your hussars. He's gonna lose another villager, but he's gonna at least kill 1 Ulan. So meanwhile, this gate and this wall is providing really all the defense that Bobabu needs. And at this point, he just needs more hussars to push in here, I feel. Every time that he's gonna siege something, Bobabu is just gonna use the range of his skirmishers, take down the musketeers, and then go back into the wall. Still a decent fight here, because there's a lot of musketeers in the back, but you see how quick work these Ulans make with all these hussars. And that's actually why also Marco should put in some of these in melee mode. Some of these musketeers should be in melee mode, because otherwise the Ulans are way too cost effective versus the hussars. Does he have new hussars on the way? No, not yet. trying to stay out of the range of the skirmish as much as possible, but Uhlans are just slowing down the musketeers, and this is what I was talking about. This is enough skirmishes in the back of this to make sure that you can take down other musketeers. There are new hussars on the way, but they will be met by new Uhlans again, so... He can't really engage this with just 5 hussars, I feel. Although he managed to get most of the Uhlans, so that is quite okay. If he now is able to target the last Uhlan with a skirmisher, with a musketeer. Actually, in this situation, the hussars should first target the Uhlans because they do the most damage, and then target the skirmishers. But this is German, 9 Uhlan shipment on the way, completely gonna destroy everything here. And that's why you should remass a little bit. So, basically no trading post still means Germany is quite strong, as you just see. Good that Bobabu made a wall. If he didn't make the wall and Marco pushed in here, it would have been a different story. I just feel that there was too few hussars. He should have had more hussars, skipped a few musketeers probably. And there's either if German ships 8 skirmishers, that's when he is strongest, so that's not when you should push in. You can wait out like 30 seconds before there's no other shipment and you can make a lot of units and then push in again. But that's not what Marco did. Instead he waited even more and then he pushed in when there was the second shipment of 7 skirmishers, which is actually just possibly the worst time for you to push into the German. Of course it's for me easy to see when the shipments come in, and it's not as easy for Marco, but you kind of have to, based on your experience, kind of feel it out when these shipments arrive. Of course, score is also an indicator. Yeah, so well played by Bobabu. He's gonna advance and take this 2-0, advance to the next round. Quick post game for you there. You see how many villages there were killed. 2 there. And then like 4, 5, that's just way too much. That's why it's also sometimes useful to just keep like 4 or 5 musketeers at home to be able to fend off the raids and not be so vulnerable to it.